The topics and opinions expressed on the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4WN Radio.
Get ready to be amazed. Get ready to know things that nobody could know. Get ready for Recovery Wednesday with America's original radio psychic, Dr. Linda Salvin, along with Candy Finnegan from the Emmy Award-winning television show Intervention. Candy brings her more than 30 years of experience dealing with all areas of recovery. Listen as Candy and Dr. Linda bring expert guests into the conversation to bring your recovery to the next level. Together, they bring you the tools and techniques that bring balance and serenity to your life. For nearly 30 years as a syndicated talk show host and metaphysical clinician, Dr. Linda has helped thousands of people worldwide solve problems on the air and in person with her insights and solutions. So pull up a chair, turn it up, and get ready for a visit with the one and only Dr. Linda. And now, live from Los Angeles, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Linda Salvin.
Hello, everybody. We're having nothing but technical difficulties today. A couple of my computers crashed, and I'm offline on my system, and Candy's not here. So it's one of these days. It's not even a retrograde, but let's just get going. The topic for today is Love Yourself Back to Health, which is a statement that we use in recovery because we come into a situation broken, whether we have been betrayed, denied, addicted, abused. It's life. You know, if we drink and use or overeat or go through body dysmorphia, hard relationships, parental restrictions, people have been raped and brutalized, we all come into, here comes Candy, we come into a program broken. And the beauty about the program is that when you're receiving unconditional love, that's when they said, we'll love you back to health. So the more you show up to the community, and even though you may feel insecure that you're being judged or you're being criticized or whatever your brain is telling you, everybody else has been there, done that, or they feel the same, or they identify with your feelings. And there's a community of unconditional love that makes you feel spiritually better. Hi, Candy.
Hi. I've got computer.
Me too. My other computer crashed. I'm not on the headset. I had to get a different laptop. My main station's down. I mean, the whole thing, I don't know if there's a retrograde out there or what, but it's weird energy today.
Oh, I got on and it went, no. I got on again and it went, no.
Yeah, mine's rebooting, recentering, and I've got this one, but we're here now, and we'll just talk about love, life openly and vigorously expressed.
Yep.
But, you know, when we chose the topic to love yourself back to health, you know, like I was saying at the beginning, we get to wherever we are fragmented, we're broken, we're hurting, we're devastated, we're addicted, we're confused, we're lonely, we're angry, whatever.
In grief, that's... Oof.
Yeah, and grieving, whatever's going on, especially when we get here, there's a lot about the past because we're so absorbed by what we did or think that was so wrong, or how we are so hard on ourselves for actions taken. But the more you're around the groups, or the more you're around recovery, because we're all healing from something, we're all recovering from something, you start to feel better. You start to bring back that self-worth and self-esteem.
Well, you know, one of the things that I think is interesting about kind of cleaning up your life is that we're told this strange statement of, we'll love you till you can love yourself. And I had never heard that before, first of all. And second of all, I didn't even know what it meant. I mean, how can you love me when you don't even know me? And, you know, you and I talked about in different conversations for many years, we both feel that word is just thrown around. Oh, I love you so much. Bye-bye, I love you. I mean, growing up, of course I told my parents I loved them. But I never even told my best friend I loved her. Do you know what I'm saying? It's
Yes,
like
I do.
we just didn't say those kind of things then. And so, I mean, I heard myself the other day, which was sick. But I was on the phone with Verizon, and if you know anything about Verizon, you're on the phone for a long time.
Any of the big companies, the customer service is enough to make anybody want to.
Well, and then I get really angry when they don't understand me, not the big picture, but me.
Your problem, your technical issue, yeah. And
I had to ask for a manager. She got on,
and they fixed it.
Said, "Slow down, take a breath." And I thought, were you on the phone for 42 minutes waiting for you so I could ask you how do I get rid of all of these messages on my phone? Deletes. And she said, it's going to be a good day if you wanted to. I thought, where are you? I'm going to come over there and.
Yeah, I love it when they want to fix it and everything's really a beautiful day and have a good day. And I'm frustrated, or I don't understand the technical issues, or I just fired an ad agency that screwed up so much. They took my money, didn't fulfill, but it's my fault.
I know that's
the attitude. I've got the attitude. Yeah, I have an attitude. I spent $1,500. They didn't deliver. I called the shots. I said, I'm out of this. They won't refund the money. I may go to the AG in Florida. I may go to the BBB, but of course I'm the bad one because I have an opinion. Just like you sitting in line on customer service, you've got an opinion, you got a problem, but it's always.
But I was getting to.
But they always blame us, like we're the ones. Well, it's always our fault.
I called her manager and said, whoever this is, train the rest of these people.
Yeah.
So she goes, "Are you sitting down comfortably?" I thought, what business is it? I mean, I just
trained how to deal with the irate attitudes we all have.
She said, "Let's just calm down for a minute." I got to tell you, and very few can. She calmed me down, and then at the end of it, she said, "So, is there any more questions?" Well, we're on the phone together. Is there anything else I can do for you? And I said, "No, you've been incredibly helpful," and blah, blah, blah. And then we started to get off, and I went, "Love you." And I thought, what am I doing? This is a Verizon person in Cleveland, Ohio. But it just flew out of my mouth. And I think that the word is thrown around a lot. And particularly in the support group that we're in, it's that hug and love you. And I don't. That's the honest to God truth.
No, we don't have emotional or familial, romantic, or that sacred love. It's become an unconditional term.
Well, I think it's unconditional in a support group because we all know how the other one feels.
Right, but to a Verizon person, no, I don't know that I would have said it, but there's been times it'll come out of my mouth and to like an ad rep, like to a sales rep, and it comes out of me, and I'm like, well, maybe they needed to hear somebody unconditionally cares about them, and it could have been that woman's so organized with how to manage the difficult person. She needs love.
If you work for Verizon
or
any of these things, and you're on the phone longer than 10 minutes, I have to tell you, I can't imagine all the irate people that call.
No, but that's their job. They know this is what they do every day.
I'm in my 70s. This woman had a gift. It wasn't about what was wrong with her. It wasn't about me. It was about let's communicate so I can help you with your problem instead of me going, God damn it,
No, but at least she's been trained and she has the skills for customer service.
I think that this was an inner core of herself. Skin moisturizer. That's interesting.
Yeah, the one that I use is through my website. If you want to email me, I will tell you what I use. I've been using it for a couple of years. It's DNA based. So yeah, no, Communication.
That's hilarious that you went right there, boy. Moisturizer, that's cute.
Love is life openly and vigorously expressed. If you define love, and what does it mean to be ill? ILL, I lack love. So when I learned that years ago, when I was just entering the metaphysical world, because love is what the world needs right now, especially with what's going on. And I told you about this event I went to the other day when it was all about love, and I got scrutinized
because got no love.
I got no love. I was put down. I got an email from that person today, and boy, it wasn't attractive because I disrupted, and she got like 4 attempts of people. I said, well, I was scrutinized, but I had an emergency. But, it's okay for everybody to have it. She says, we work 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. Well, who doesn't? It's always about them. Yes, it's about love.
But this is a generation of narcissism.
I seem to agree. She's older than you, or she's about our age, but it came back on her, not about me. I made the amends. I said, I'm sorry. And then I wrote back, I said, at least I was the adult and I apologized here, but I don't need the scrutiny. I didn't. I remember the attack. I was attacked again.
I remember that I was taking this in my master's thing. I was taking, and we had to write a paper. It was something where you had to define being in love with somebody and loving somebody.
Very different.
And I had said those words a lot. You have to love yourself. I mean, you have to let us love you and all that stuff. But it was a very interesting, mind-provoking thing to think about. And here's the reason why. I do really love a lot of people. But I'm in love, and I don't mean sexually or intimately.
Right.
I will only love that one person, at least up to this point. And I love my children very differently than I loved my husband. And I love my friends very differently than I love, and there are people in my family, honest to God, I can sit here and we've talked about this at great length, that I don't love in my family. Not my mom and dad, but other people that snuck in. So, it's like, I think the word has so much depth and feeling, but I think it's, I think to love yourself, you have to do more to get back your health.
I agree, because we get here broken, or we get here tired, or we get here used and abused, or we get here confused, or we get here, with the ego.
Used and abused and confused. Great book title.
Yeah, I should write that down, huh? But I mean, we are. That's what happens. But we get to hear God. When we hear about God, God is unconditional love. God is loving. This is not about religion.
Stop right there, Linda.
It's not about religion.
Go back and explain that sentence you just said.
Which one?
God.
Or
your higher power, or whoever it is.
That's what is loving. And that's what
you said, it's unconditional love.
It's unconditional. And then we find that there's something to protect us, heal us. There's something spiritual that happens because we're mind, body, spirit. We're fixing the mind, we're fixing the emotions, we're fixing the body. But it all starts really if you get a form of surrender to trust that there's something else out there that's bringing us all together. Now, if you're talking in church, God is love. If you're in a temple, God is love. I'm not in church. I'm not in temple. I just know, and I'm getting chills, God's everywhere. And I talk about butterflies as a God or a wink of God. But it's all about spirituality. And the spirituality is what we need because we're starving inside. So we're fragmented. So you find a God or a power greater than yourself. And the healing begins. The healing begins.
This is what just ran through my head so quickly was when you said, like, I'm going to use higher power. is unconditional love.
It
Now,
is.
when you first, if you haven't in previous times, growing up in a church, growing up with a religious basis, growing up even spiritual, like being coming from a Buddhist family or anything, I think when I heard that God or higher power was going to give me unconditional love, I don't know that I even knew what that meant.
I did not. It was scary to me. The only thing I knew about God was get on my.
It felt like a demand. I had to believe this. I had to believe
It's what scares a lot of people at the beginning. Yeah, because we're all brought up with different beliefs, different religions, different practices, but then it becomes unconditional, or you define it in your own way.
What does that mean to you? Unconditional love.
It meant that I wasn't going to be judged, and I wasn't going to be criticized, and I wasn't going to be abused, and I wasn't going to be
everything that you were.
Yeah.
I agree.
But when you're around the other people, then you start learning through experience and sharing stories. You're not the only one on the boat. You're not the only one going through something. That's where the community comes together, because we share experiences. Like this event I was at on the weekend, there were some horror stories of sharing, their health journeys or whatever. It doesn't have to just be in our community. It's people sharing unconditionally, because as you share with another, you realize you're not alone. And that's the beauty of community. When you can share your experience, it's like, oh, I felt that. Oh, I did that. All of a sudden, you're not so unique, or you're not so weird, or you're not so devastated that you're out like an island of its own. And you find out you're part of the human force, the human cycle. And we're more alike than we are different. We really are.
So this says, which I've never even thought about, thank God for Google. It says, oh, whoops, wait, here we go, Linda. It says, unconditional love, simply put, is love without strings attached. It's love you offer freely. You don't base it on what someone does for you in return. You simply love them and want nothing more than their happiness. This type of love, sometimes called compassionate or agape love, might sound somewhat familiar. Maybe it brings to mind the love your parents have to you and the love you have for your own children. Now, you know what? I would have never defined it like that.
I would not either, but that's the internet. And if you went to AI and asked it to define unconditional love, you'd probably get a different definition. But what you and I have learned and experienced is you can walk into a room, a restaurant. Even last night, Candy and I went out to eat after she had an intervention, and we were talking, and we closed the restaurant down. But you can be unconditionally kind to the waiter and the busboy, or to the cook, or to each other, or somebody in the parking lot. You don't have to be judgmental and accusatory and nasty. I fight. I'm a fighter. Somebody hits me the wrong way.
Said fight or fight to me. There's never been anything but fight.
With you, you can identify with it. It's like when my buttons get pushed, it's, excuse me. I have learned through the years, and Candy knows, I'll speak up now. You're not going to walk all over me. I don't like you. I fire you. You say something that pushes me in the wrong way. It doesn't feel right for me. I'm gone. Have I burned bridges? Yes. Have I lost friendships? Yeah. Has it been in my best interest? Probably so. Like this old saying, God will do for you what you cannot do for yourself. What's that God again? There's a universal energy. Is it unconditional? Yeah. Somebody once said,
no, I think there's conditions on it because you have to believe it.
No, but that's the beauty. Even if you don't believe, you start to feel it.
Oh, not if you're not willing.
Well, yeah, you got to be willing, but it's just like, as somebody, when I didn't understand it at the beginning, and I was dependent on somebody, and she once said to me, Linda, if you can't trust me, trust God, and you can't trust God, trust me. And I thought, well, what does that mean? And I took a look at that, because one day I reached out to contact her. She wasn't there. So I thought, all right, God, what's the answer? What do I do in this dilemma? And all of a sudden, I knew what to do in a confusing state that I would normally not know how to handle. This is 30 something years ago when I was learning. What does this mean?
Wait a minute, but there is the word that we have not discussed.
What?
Learning.
Well, yeah, we do have to learn. You can't just wake up and do it.
Oh, why not? That's what you think.
Hold on. There are questions coming in, which I don't see on my monitor, but they're popping up. Let's go back from one person had 3 birds fly into a car. I don't know, but call me off there and I'd be more than happy to read it. But usually the bird is a symbol of love or song. Hummingbirds means music. Can everyone express unconditional love? Yeah. Yes, country. Anybody can. You just got to learn how to find it within yourself.
Well, you have to learn how to be of service so somebody else can, accept your kindness. Love doesn't necessarily have to come into it because you don't love everybody.
No, we don't have to love everybody. You're not going to love everybody at a concert. You're going to forgive everybody that's going on in the war and killing people unnecessarily. I mean, am I going to forgive everybody? No, not really. But there's a part of me that doesn't want to be so angry. I'm hurt. I'm disappointed. I'm confused.
It's easier to forgive, but that doesn't mean you have to forget.
Right. Or it doesn't mean I have to go back into it. And you find it within yourself. You define it within yourself. You find out what it means for you. Do I feel passionate in love romantically towards a certain man? Yes.
Oh.
Do I have that same feeling towards my friends, my dog, my patients? No, it's a different kind of feeling.
Much more passionate.
Yeah, of course, there's different definitions of what love is to each of us, which is what I think you're saying. But when we're going into healing, and you're coming to a therapist, an interventionist, a 12-step program, a hospital for recovery where you're broken. You don't know how to function, get off the couch, get out of the house, socialize, help somebody in distress. You learn to give of yourself. That's a being of service. You just give a little bit. We were out a couple of weeks ago and there was 3 people at a table trying to take a selfie. And I got up, I said, you want me to take it for you? Because you can't always get your hand out with the camera. That's being of service. You're helping somebody. You just don't have to go pick them up off the street and put them in a shelter. You just be kind, We're all angry. We're all frustrated. There was somebody today, I heard, how things have changed since lockdown, which is true. We're still learning to recover personally from being locked down for almost 3 years. There's still an adjustment to society. Is it safe? Is it scary? Is it healthy? Should we go into a large event with other people? Should I wear a mask? Not wear a mask? There's fear. There's anxiety. There's people who just show up and take a chance and don't. But I have still some anxieties about it. And then I forget it's over and we're okay now. But there's a change. So now we have to adapt to the change. Did I love being locked down? No. Candy, in her experience that whole time, her husband was sick in the hospital. And she was running back and forth with her husband who ended up passing away. We all went through a very difficult adjustment with life on life's term became very different in 2020. We're now almost at the end of 2023. And there are changes. There will always be changes.
Listen to this saying. This is so fabulous.
What?
The problem is everyone is looking for unconditional love, carrying a bag full of conditions.
Yeah. Love me this way. Feel that way as long as it's A, B, and C. Or you can be my friend if you do blah, 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 blah. I had a situation, 5-6 months ago with a person I've known since high school. And she created some recipe. And I just asked if there was sugar in it. And then she said, because I can't eat sugar. And right away, she's yelling at me. Well, this isn't about you. I didn't make it for you. I said, I just asked if there was sugar in case I wanted the recipe. And that was the last I talked to her. I mean, excuse me, if it's that sensitive and always about you rather than communicating with us, I don't have time anymore. I don't want to just be one-sided. Communication and to love somebody unconditionally is a give and take. It's not a punishment. It's not a silent treatment. It's not a one-upmanship. It's called balance. however you find unconditional love, do I think the community level of 150 people doing a consciousness raising for love vibrations in the universe helps? Yeah, it helps. The Buddhists have been doing it forever. You can do it in temples, you can do it in churches. You want to bring prayer, which is consciousness on an unconditionally loving level, whether it's in a group setting or by yourself. That's what love is too. It's not just sex and romance, and it's partnership, it's understanding. And you can say love you, and you're never going to see them or talk to them for 12 months or more, and you just say, whatever. It's your own definition. But with regards to the Recovery Wednesday show and what we have learned through recovery is that when you show up for others, there is a sense or a feeling of unconditional love in these rooms, that there's a warmth or a spirit that somehow makes your own or my own insecurities heal or my fragments heal. And I think that's why they say we'll love you until you can love yourself, because there's a sense of you're okay. We're going to see you through this.
Too.
What?
Of belonging.
A belonging, but to let people know it's safe. You made it here. You're going to get better. The worst is now behind you. Let's fix Humpty Dumpty. And you can. It's never the end of the world unless you want it to be stuck in that behavior. There are always doors to open. So yeah, extend the hand of love. That's what it is. It doesn't mean, oh my God, I'm going to go to bed with you and take you out to dinner and travel around the world. No, I'm going to talk. Like Candy and me doing the show is unconditional love. We don't have to do this every Wednesday at a special time.
Yeah, but we love recovery, and
we love helping
really
people.
Care about each other. I would certainly say in my life right now, you're one of the people that I turn to.
Yeah, I turn to you.
And the friendship is, we don't talk about it. It's just there. What does it say?
Oh, it's Libra. She suffers from depression and anxiety due to certain circumstances. She'll be investing in herself soon. Candles, I realize it takes money. Well, unconditional love does not take money, but the candles, you've been talking about that for 2 years. So when you're ready, the candles are there. But the candles aren't what you need. You need to get a session. You need a session. Now, I cannot, as a PhD, diagnose depression and anxiety, but I do have supplements and I do have dietary.
But they're all organic. They're not prescribed.
It's not. It's correct. It's all organic that will help many people, myself included, balance from a lot of the depression. I come from depression. I come from 3 suicides in my family. There is a depressive gene. I've talked about the DNA nutrition, which I talk about on another show, that if you swab your cheeks, you get the map of 18 genes. You find out what you inherited from both parents. And if you've got what's called the motherfucker gene, you will see that it comes from both sides of the family, which is the depressive gene, anxiety, cardiovascular, high blood pressure. But if you take this clinically dosed nutritional product, it's going to balance that gene to make you feel less low or depressed or moody. Doesn't cure everything. It could be you're eating too much sugar or too much flour, or you might be drinking something that doesn't agree with your biochemistry that causes more depression. And Candy knows how I thought for years. There are suicidal thoughts. It's the end of the world. It's never going to get better. And then all of a sudden there's a shift in the mind, unconditionally loving from some people that care enough that the light bulb goes on, where it's like, okay, there's hope again. There's faith again. There's a new beginning again. And it's the same thing, Libra. If you're dealing with depression, then just book an appointment and stop popping up saying, I will, because you don't. If you really want the help, we're here. That's why we do this. Rather than saying, I will, that's the procrastination to keep it going longer. When you really want out of it, there are doors to open and people will help you.
Don't stand in the hallway.
Yeah, it's always in a hallway until you're ready to admit, or as we would say, surrender, let go.
Well,
it's scary.
Feeling bad is rather habitual.
You can get used to it. That's a true statement, that you can get used to being in your depression, that becomes your full reality. Alcohol's not the only way to cope.
Something. Alcohol is a depressant.
It is a depressant.
You're depressed, and then you drink alcohol and you get more depressed.
Even though you're high for a while or you're escaping, and that gets into escapism.
Well, it's the escape. You're not
Of course, it's the escapism.
getting rid of anything.
Yeah, so once you escape, you have a good time. You're at a party, you're at the bars, you're out.
I would have to tell you that I think at least 90% of everybody who defines himself or was defined as an alcoholic is a depressant.
Of course. Because we would self-medicate.
Drinking depression, it's odd how it dissipates.
Yeah, because you're okay for a while, unless you get so into the drinking that you're so inebriated you can't function. It's one thing if you have 1 or 2 drinks, you're high, you're tipsy, you're fun. But when it gets to a chronic situation, it's not fun.
She's trying to self-medicate herself with alcohol.
You can't. Same thing with pot, pills, smoking cigarettes, whatever, to numb the feeling, or to food, sugar, carbs, binging, purging. It's all about blocking the emotion with a substance, whether, like we're saying, alcohol, drugs, pills, cocaine, cigarettes, food, shopping, porn, anything to get away from how you, I, me, we feel about something.
Or you don't feel about something.
You stay numb. You stay numb. You stay numb. Yeah, it's hard when you know you're very clear. And it's painful when a lot of people don't hear the emotion. But let's go back to love yourself, back to health. All that means is, okay, if you're depressed, we have tools to help you get beyond the depression, to see something valuable in you that you can turn on the light to get some help.
Well, I think that you can do an assortment of things and find out what the prescription for your happiness is and your mental health. But, sometimes it's a guessing game. Sometimes it isn't. But don't immediately think you have to get on
antidepressants. No, there are other ways besides medication.
When all else fails, there's that.
Yeah, but there's other methods, spiritually, friendship-wise, therapies, practices. You can learn to pray.
Practices.
Yeah, you can learn to pray in the morning, like, I'm really tired of feeling depressed, or I'm really tired of feeling down.
Please take this away and help me see that.
And then watch, if you say a simple prayer, you might get a bit of relief, or a little light bulb goes off, and then the prayer turns into the meditation, which is the voice of God, and you hear something. Oh, go hug a tree. Oh, take a walk. It's like getting out of the house just to get some fresh air. A lot of the times will break you out of your self-obsessed, depressed state. Clinical depression is different.
Oh, very.
But most of us are not that clinically depressed, okay? You're not underneath the freeway. You're not living in a sleeping bag in a box. You're not crazed. If you have depression, a lot of it is like we said, nutrition. It could be what you're drinking or ingesting. It could be emotions. It could be compounded.
Well, it could be resentment. It also could be fear. I mean, I think that depression has a lot to do with, we're all riddled with a million forms of fear. And I think it starts taking over and we don't think we can get out of it. And then we get so depressed. I think the worst untreated mental condition truly is bipolar or manic depressive, because you're floating high, things are cooking, let's go, hey. And then when you hit the depression part of it, oh, Lord. I mean,
it can be low and dark.
I don't think you can dig yourself out of it. And it's very progressive.
But a lot of people don't even know they have it. A lot of people, a lot of people don't realize. What?
It isn't really affecting their lives, or they
No, because it's all they know.
Exactly. You're exactly.
They just know that's them. But if you bring it to the attention, like, well, maybe if you try this, or did you know you're that? No, I'm not. Then the defenses and the denial or the ADD or whatever, then all of a sudden it might sink in like, well, maybe. Does that mean I'm wrong? No, it's how you are genetically, biochemically. But there's a way out to fix things today. We have ideas and groups and methodologies that didn't exist 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. And then there's the one standby, which is love and God. No, it's not about religion. It is finding what works for you. One of the healers is being with nature. They always say, go hug a tree. Get from your computer, take a walk outside, touch a tree, and you will feel the energy that the tree gives back. I do. I've told people for
Are an
years.
old tree hugger.
I am an old tree hugger, but there's some magic. And then you look at the bark, you look at the leaves, especially this time of year with the fall coming and all the different shapes falling on the ground and the colors. Get outside and see the beauty with all the crap we go through and all the negativity.
I guess Arrowhead. Is that it's just
Lake Arrowhead?
Yeah, it's just beautiful this year.
Yeah.
With all the rain.
I can imagine all the colors. That's a mountain lake about 2 hours east of Los Angeles. If you don't know what we're talking about, there's Lake Arrowhead and Big Bear Lake up in a similar mountain area, the San Bernardino Mountains, that are just gorgeous. For us in LA, we get a small fall where some of the maple trees and some of the trees will change colors.
But it's gone in 10 days.
Yeah, nothing like the Midwest and the East Coast. You see these gorgeous.
Well, we don't have that change of weather.
No, we don't. But we get the change of leaves. But if you go outside, look at a leaf, look at another leaf. There's different patterns. It's like taking a strawberry and look at the strawberry, the stem, the green. Look at all the little seeds. Cut it in half. Look how it's made. Get out of yourself enough to see what's around you, and you won't be as depressed.
I heard this woman yesterday. I don't know why it struck me so funny, because I guess I can't do it. It's why it struck me so funny. She said, you want to really get out of yourself? Carve a pumpkin.
Carve a pumpkin. Okay.
And I said, what do you want? And I thought to myself, well, if I was, this fabulous artist, I'd take my potato peeler and I'd draw, I was going to say something else, but I'm not going to say it now. A beautiful jack-o'-lantern, put a candle in it. I mean, I remember when I was doing it with my kids, I was just concerned they weren't going to cut their finger off. It was
making eyes and a little smile.
Yeah, and then I had a really good friend, my best friend in growing up in Kansas, and she was one of those people that would take like a butter knife or something and just go. And all of a sudden it would be a toad with a big smile on his face. I mean, she was so creative. And then years later, I found out she had a stencil.
Oh, so you thought she was so creative and so magnificent of an artist.
I thought she has picked,
But you just gave somebody out there an idea. Go carve a pumpkin. Go hug a tree. People, after the show, just do something for 5 minutes. Go get some fresh air. Just get out of the house.
I always say, do something for yourself.
And then for someone else.
Do something for somebody else, and don't tell anybody. And do something kind that you would never do, whether it's walking somebody across the street, whether it's at a gas station and turning around and saying, you look so pretty today. I, of course, would go, no, I don't. You don't know what I do. But, kindness is an inside job.
It takes time, especially if you're brought up abused or negative. It's hard to take that compliment, let alone give
it.
Yep. It's hard.
Got it.
It's harder, but that's where it all starts unconditionally. You got to just take the first step. Hey, I love your headband. Oh my God, you look so cute today. Okay, so the computer didn't work. We got started, but we fixed it. Okay, I don't like this one ad agency. Fine, I'll find another one. Or there was someone I spoke to
you last night when you were having difficulty.
Yeah,
someone in your life, and I said, stop it. You are so used to having the feeling that you're wrong. You have to apologize.
Yeah, I get guilty.
And the first step is, as this just
Thank
said,
you, country.
Oh, that's cute. The first step, as I said to you, is stop it.
Yeah, because I can get obsessed, or I can go on automatic.
But it's always your fault.
Work. Yeah, it's like always my fault because I was attacked. And then I got the email today and I said I didn't appreciate being scrutinized, even though I was the adult that apologized.
I know, but you need to stop even going to that hole because you want the validation that you're doing right, and you are. You're doing it perfectly.
Well,
But
maybe not. I don't know that it's perfectly. I still have
the results that you think you deserve because that's what they promised you.
right.
And so you're the expert and you keep going to people who aren't. And
Well, they're experts. They're
is
experts in their field. They're experts in their field. I'm not saying that they're not. It's just they're not compatible for
none of
what
us
my
are
needs.
experts in that field. I mean,
Yeah, well,
in a recovery thing.
that's true.
But we try to look for somebody who's going to, I mean, I think one of the great things about you and I is we're still teachable.
That's a
But
great word
we're
because a lot
also
of people are
teachers.
not teachable. They don't want.
We're also still teachers. So if it goes against the grain of your knowledge and your feelings, I mean, you're on the phone with somebody and they're telling you how you feel. I mean, you, as I said to you, you've got to stop it. This has been going on for 30 years that I've known you, or 35 years. And it's like one of those things where we think we don't know, and we do. You do.
We all do. We all know who.
No, y'all don't, please. I just sat with
a lot. That's true. Yesterday you had a busy day. But we know ourselves. It's just, are we willing to admit it? Are we willing to come clean? Are we really willing to say how we feel? Yeah, I get hurt a lot. I get bashed a lot. I get upset. Because I'm also psychic, so I'm overly aware, sensitive. Yeah. It's like, whoa, you want to say something. Someone might think it's a low ball hit and I'm getting bulldozed. It's just the way I respond.
Well, but it's the way you feel because you have feelings that aren't, and I'm not saying this unkindly, are not normal. You're so much more sensitive to outside people and thoughts and stimulation that I remember one time I said to you something. You said, look, Candy, you don't know how much I carry around with me. And I thought, well, what do you carry around with you, Linda? And you said, I talk all the day on the phone about these people that are broken and need help. And then I get off the phone with them. I don't have a file cabinet. And
to dump it. Yeah. Absorb energy. Again, it's energy. So I got to go take a bath.
The reason that we're so closely friends is because we sit at a table and neither one of us shut up, just like now, because you're trying to have closure and also check your motives, and I'm trying to get rid of all of this, that I listen to all day with trying to give people help that don't want help.
We're in a similar field, an opposite field, but we're doing similar work, helping people, which is a job, and we're only human, and it takes our energy to help their energy. And after a while, it's like, oh my God, we get together and we talk it through and we're fine. See you tomorrow.
Well,
that's a friend. And that's unconditional love, people. After 37 years, someone's still there after all the ups and downs and crazy spirals.
We don't judge each other.
Huh?
We don't judge each other.
No. You'll tell the truth. I'll tell the truth. I'll snap at her. She'll snap at me. She'll tell me something I need to hear. That's friendship. That's unconditional love. Okay. She's there. We've got people in our lives we've had for 30, 40 years. All of us. You've got people from when you were a kid in Kansas that you've known all your life. I still have a handful of people from my growing up years.
Linda Salvin.
What, Candy Finnegan?
No, you have people you went to kindergarten with that you have lunch with.
Third grade.
Having lunch with Terry. Oh, I met Terry in 4th grade in Girl Scouts. I've never in my life known somebody who has a basket full of friends your whole life because you grew up there. It tickles me. Oh, we're having.
See, that's where I'm grateful because there's unconditional love. People have had 3 marriages, people have had deaths, people who have gone to school, people who moved away, came back, whatever. We don't see each other for 3 years. We pick up where we left off. It's not like they're my friends on a daily basis. I know who that is.
I know that you can pick it up.
I pick it up. A lot of people can't.
Because I moved away.
But half of Kansas is here in the valley with the musicians, people. Your whole music.
I know, but those aren't, I don't pick up those people. I have become acquainted with those people. But I mean, I have a few people back in Kansas that I have, John Paul, because I went to kindergarten with him.
But he's in Asheville.
He's in, but I'm just saying I can pick up in a second with him.
Right. Certain
But
people
I
you're always going to have that unconditional connection with.
Yeah, but
That's
I
what
don't
we're trying
have
to
a lot
say
of
here.
people. I don't have a lot of people in Kansas left just because some of it's my fault, some of it's life. Is that I haven't taken the time to have this relationship continue as we've gone older because I got enough going on.
Yeah, or it's not your priority. It's not as important.
Well, the ones that were priority were Joanne and people like that no
Well,
matter.
you've outgrown it. Your life is different. You
I
can't really
never
judge it.
outgrew her.
You can't really judge it. It's still unconditional. If you wanted to pick up the phone and say, hey, it's been, 7 years, how you doing? There would be conversation or there wouldn't be. We've got 4 minutes left in this show. Unconditional love, LOVE, life openly and vigorously expressed. Tell us who you are. Tell somebody who you are. What are you feeling? What hurts? What do you need help with? What are you excited about? Did you watch the football game? Are you going to vote for somebody you really have a passion for? What about your cat, your dog, your mom, your dad? If they're dead, what do you feel? Oh, there's a new song. What do you love? Go carve a pumpkin. Go look at a leaf. Go watch the rain.
Carve a pumpkin. I'm telling you.
That's the new one. Yeah.
I almost want to go out and get one, but I don't, what am I going to do with it? Somebody said you give it to the birds.
Well, you get the seeds and then you can bake the seeds and have pumpkin seeds.
I'll let you do that one.
Oh, okay. So I'm Dr. Linda Salvin, and this is one of my friends, Candy Finnegan, and we're both into recovery. We want to help you feel better, have a better life, be more balanced, be open to new people, places, and things, listen to experience strength, and give us hope. And someday when you start to feel better or you're not as afraid to reach out or
not afraid to get well,
we're here. We're here. We joke. It's anonymous. It's not going to be broadcast out there. If you have some help, you want to come on the show and talk about it, I'll bring you on and put you backstage and be part of it. I'm not adverse to that. You see it on the other shows I do during the week. But this is about you. And it starts within yourself, and it can start with a prayer. I don't know what to do. Okay, something will be shown. I don't know what unconditional love is. Okay, say, God, I don't know what unconditional love is. And watch for something. Something will open up. Something might happen. A butterfly might go by. Get out of your way. Get out of your thoughts.
Well, yeah, you said it. Get out of your own way.
Because we're all in our own way. We're all in our heads. Depression is, what is it? The anxiety is about the past and the fear is about the future. But if you're in the now, there's peace. There's no anxiety, fear, depression in the moment.
Yesterday was a mystery. Tomorrow
is history. No, yesterday is history. Tomorrow's a mystery.
But the gift is the present.
The present. And that's what it is. But we have to learn how to recognize our thoughts. We have to realize we're speeding through our mind, or we've got too many projects that have to get done, or whatever's happening. But the bottom line is there's love in your heart. Outside the anger and the frustration and the resentment, it gets back to love. It's there. Just go look at a tree, look at a bird.
That's the whole reason we're here.
Go get a pumpkin. I'm going to say get a pumpkin. We're out of time.
And then come on next week and show it.
And show the pumpkin. Okay. I'm Dr. Linda Salvin. You can reach me at drlinda@lindasalvin.com or just my website, lindasalvin.com. And Candy Finnegan is candyfinnegan@aol.com.
And we've loved having you here today, and join us next week.
And tell us if you love even more. If you see a star in the sky, or go look at yourself in the mirror and just say, I love you. Tell yourself you love you. Start with your own essence, people. It starts within. Then we can take it to the consciousness of the world. Have a great day. Go find a pumpkin or hug a tree. Bye, Candy. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Linda.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoyed Recovery Wednesday. You can reach Dr. Linda at 888-509-1077 or at lindasalvin.com, and Candy Finnegan at candyfinnegan@aol.com. Need a breakthrough of your own? Ready for answers or insights nobody else has? Reserve your own one-on-one in-person chat. Dr. Linda isn't just for other people. Dr. Linda gets results for you. And it's easy. Contact details are on screen now. Just click on lindasalvin.com or call toll-free 888-509-1077. That's lindasalvin.com or toll-free at 888-509-1077.